Chapter 12. Here Goes Nothing. Max Ernest had never seen Cass's house looking like this. Her mom, Melanie, was one of the neatest people Max Ernest knew. It had been strange enough to find the front door unlocked, with unread newspapers thrown about. But to see dishes piled in the sink and even on the counter and on the table, the house looked almost as cluttered as Cass's grandfather's door. One spot in the kitchen that wasn't in complete disarray was the refrigerator. Max Ernest and Cass had long ago devised a special random-looking way of arranging the magnetic letters on the fridge that made it easier to leave coded messages for each other. In normal times, Cass had to recognize the letters on an almost nightly basis because their mother compulsively alphabetized them during the day, and yet there they were, just as Cass had left them. 2 weeks it had gone by without Cass's mother touching the letters. Clearly Melanie was not herself. On the stove, a teapot was whistling. Max Ernest got the sense that the water inside had been boiling for a while. He turns off the flame. Tea. It is just the ticket. Cass's grandfather, Larry, entered the kitchen and mustering to himself, he looked at the tea kettle putter bread. Why did I think I heard it whistling? Max Ernest coughed. Hi, Grandpa Larry. Cass's grandfathers always insisted on grandpa titles. If Cass was their substitute grandchild, then Max Ernest, they said, was their substitute grandchild. Obviously, they defined family a bit differently than a hospital did. Larry's eyes lit up. Well, if it isn't the young Master Max. What a stroke of luck. Larry offered his hand, was forcibly jovial. Wayne, Melanie, get down here and see who that old sneaky cat dragged in. Look like we can go out after all. He called up the stairs behind him. I was going to see about getting a nurse to sit with Cass while we took her mother to dinner. But I feel much better with you here, he explained to Max Ernest. What that girl needs right now is to be surrounded by people who love her, not more so-called medical professionals. Max Ernest was shocked by the sight of Cass's mother. There were dark raccoon-like circles around her eyes. Her clothes hung loosely on her shoulders. Her hair was stringy. And if you didn't know any better, you'd think not her daughter was the patient. Larry and Wayne, in contrast, had trimmed their long, unruly beards and looked much more cleaned and pressed than usual. If grief and anxiety had made Cass's mother fall to pieces, it had also the reverse effect on them. They were rising to the occasion, it seemed, taking care of Melanie, not just Cass. It took Cass's grandfathers over an hour to convince Cass's mother to leave the house for under an hour. We need to put some meat back on those bones, said Wayne. You look like you haven't eaten in weeks. That's because I haven't. How could I? Especially now, she broke off. Do you think that's what Cass would want for you to waste away? Asked Larry heatedly. You know how conscious she is after keeping everybody's blood sugar levels up, said Wayne, just in case you have to deal with a sudden electrical fire or an earthquake or a nuclear attack. Right, Max Ernest? Max Ernest nodded. This was absolutely true. Cass was always trying to keep everybody's energy supply high. We're taking you out for burgers right now, and when we get back, I'm cleaning up this kitchen, said Larry. This place looks worse than the gallery on board the Warren Harding. The Warren Harding was the 29th President of the United States and is widely regarded as the worst. To the best of my knowledge, there is no Navy ship named after him. Nonetheless, I think we should give Grandpa Larry's story the benefit of the doubt. Perhaps, for example, the Warren Harding is a nickname for a different name of a ship that happened to have particularly bad luck at sea. I remember once when I was in the Navy and I had to cook for 600 seamen, and suddenly the storm rocked the ship and my giant vat of chili spilled onto the deck and took me 3 days to clean. But Max Ernest looked confused at Larry. Navy? I thought you were in the Army. Details. When a young man you are going to learn to enjoy a good story. Eventually Melanie succumbed to the pressure. She agreed to go to dinner, but not without grilling Max Ernest first. You really know how to read the heart monitor. Yes, I swear. Remember how many times I've been to the hospital? I'm an expert. I don't want you to be an expert. Just make sure her heart isn't beating too fast. Or too slow. Okay. Or too unevenly. Has to be even. Got it? And don't touch the IV. Whatever you do, you must think you're a medical expert, but you're not a nurse. I know I'm not. I mean it. I won't. If there's any irregularity at all, anything, call me right away. Okay. Even if you don't think it's important. Even if. If she blinks, call me. Definitely. If she even twitches, absolutely. And if she mumbles anything, I'll call you. Yes, immediately, and write down what she says, too. Okay, I'll write it down. This is very serious, Max Ernest. I know you are. Even if you don't recognize the words, write the sounds. Okay. Even if it doesn't sound like words, just the breaths or sighs. Okay. And you have Larry's number in case you don't get me for some reason. Yeah. And Wayne's, but I've never leave their phones on. What? Nothing. If you can't get any of us on the phone, number of every neighbor on the street is next to the refrigerator. Also the number of police in the nearest hospital, and the city council office and school, and the prison control. Okay. But don't poison her. No poison. Got it. Of course. If there's any real emergency, you should call 911 first. Do you have that number? It's 911, isn't it? Please don't get smart with me right now, Max Ernest. Sorry, I wasn't trying to be smart. You confused me, that's all. I knew that this was a bad idea. Come on, Melanie, said Larry. We're only going for 3 minutes away. Before she could say another word, he and Wayne took her by the arms and escorted her out the door. Well, here goes nothing, said Max Ernest, to an empty room, bracing himself for the visit of the silent girl upstairs.